The sun-drenched streets of Oakridge Estates shimmered in the late afternoon heat, a picturesque tableau of suburban tranquility. Perfectly manicured lawns stretched out before cookie-cutter houses, their uniformity broken only by the occasional child's toy or colorful garden gnome. Alex Mercer stood on the porch of 42 Sycamore Lane, his new home, feeling an odd sense of déjà vu as he surveyed the neighborhood. He couldn't shake the feeling that he'd been here before, despite having just moved in yesterday. As Alex unpacked boxes in his living room, he caught glimpses of his neighbors through the large bay window. They moved with an eerie synchronicity, mowing lawns and watering flowers, as if following an unseen choreographer's directions. A chill ran down Alex's spine, despite the warmth of the day. He tried to rationalize it as the stress of the move, but a nagging voice in the back of his mind whispered that something was terribly wrong. A knock at the door startled Alex from his reverie. He opened it to find Caleb Winters, his next-door neighbor, standing on the porch with a plate of cookies and a too-wide smile. "Welcome to the neighborhood, Alex." Caleb's voice was cheerful, but his eyes seemed to bore into Alex with an unsettling intensity. As they shook hands, Alex couldn't help but notice how cold and firm Caleb's grip was, almost like touching plastic rather than flesh. That night, as Alex tossed and turned in bed, unable to sleep, he heard strange noises coming from outside. Peering through his bedroom window, he saw shadows moving across lawns and between houses, their movements too fluid and coordinated to be human. His heart raced as he watched a group of neighbors gather in the cul-de-sac, their faces turned upward towards the starry sky as if waiting for something. Alex felt a scream building in his throat but found himself unable to make a sound. As dawn broke, Alex convinced himself that the night's events were nothing more than a vivid nightmare. He went about his morning routine, trying to shake off the lingering unease, but as he stepped outside to collect his newspaper, he froze. The entire neighborhood had changed overnight. Houses that were once different colors were now identical, and every lawn was mowed in the exact same pattern. Alex's breath caught in his throat as he realized that the idyllic suburban facade was crumbling, revealing something far more sinister beneath. In the days that followed, Alex found himself increasingly isolated in his new home. His attempts to connect with other residents were met with polite but distant responses, as if they were actors following a script. Even Caleb Winters, who had seemed so eager to welcome him, now avoided eye contact and hurried away whenever Alex approached. The visceral feeling of wrongness grew stronger with each passing hour, a constant knot of dread twisting in Alex's stomach. One afternoon, while tending to his front yard to maintain the facade of normalcy, Alex noticed something peculiar. A young girl was riding her bike down the street, her movements mechanical and repetitive. As he watched, she made the same circuit 3 times, each lap identical down to the smallest detail. When she passed by a 4th time, Alex called out to her. The girl's head snapped towards him with inhuman speed, her eyes vacant and glassy. The sight sent a jolt of terror through Alex's body. Desperate for answers, Alex began to investigate his neighbors more closely. He noticed that they all followed the same routines day after day, like clockwork. When he tried to disrupt these patterns, by accidentally knocking over a neighbor's trash can, or asking for help with a non-existent car problem, the reactions were delayed and unnatural. It was as if they needed time to process the deviation from their programming before responding. Alex's paranoia reached new heights when he discovered a hidden compartment in his basement filled with files detailing the lives and behaviors of everyone in the neighborhood, including himself. The dossiers were meticulous, outlining daily routines, preferences, and even predicted responses to various stimuli. With trembling hands, Alex opened the file labeled with his own name, only to find pages of blank data waiting to be filled in. As night fell, Alex heard a commotion outside. Peering through the blinds, he saw Caleb Winters standing in the middle of the street, his body contorting in impossible ways. To Alex's horror, Caleb's skin began to ripple and shift, revealing a metallic underbody beneath. Other neighbors emerged from their homes, gathering around Caleb in a circle. Their bodies too began to change, shedding their human disguises. Alex stumbled back from the window, his mind reeling. He now knew with terrifying certainty that he was trapped in a world that was not what it seemed, surrounded by entities that were far from human. Heart pounding, Alex retreated to his bedroom, barricading the door with furniture. His mind raced, trying to make sense of the horrifying reality unfolding around him. As he frantically searched for a way out, his gaze fell upon his reflection in the mirror. What he saw made his blood run cold. His own face seemed to flicker, momentarily revealing a metallic sheen beneath. With trembling hands, Alex touched his cheek, feeling the unnaturally smooth texture of his skin. The terrifying truth began to dawn on him. He was one of them. Memories flooded back in a torrent of alien images and sensations. Alex remembered his creation in a laboratory, his programming, and his purpose. To be the ultimate test subject, a clone designed to believe it was human, planted in this fabricated suburban experiment. The visceral horror of his true nature threatened to overwhelm him, but a part of his mind, the part that still felt undeniably human, rebelled against this revelation. Suddenly the house began to shake. The walls peeled away like paper, revealing a vast, sterile laboratory beyond. Alex watched in stunned silence as the entire neighborhood folded in on itself, the idyllic facade crumbling to expose the true nature of his surroundings. Alien beings, tall and spindly with multiple limbs and eyes, moved among the debris, observing and taking notes. In the center of it all stood Caleb Winters, no longer maintaining his human guise, but fully revealed as the alien overseer of this twisted experiment. Caleb approached Alex, his movements fluid and inhuman. "Subject Alex Mercer," he spoke, his voice a discordant symphony of tones. "Your responses have been unexpected. You've developed beyond our initial parameters." Alex backed away, his mind reeling from the conflict between his programmed memories and the horrifying reality before him. He felt trapped between two identities, the human he believed himself to be and the alien creation he now knew himself to be. As the alien researchers closed in, Alex made a desperate decision. Embracing the conflict within himself, he chose to fight against his programming. With a primal scream that was both human and otherworldly, Alex tapped into abilities he never knew he possessed. His body began to change, not into the metallic form of the other clones, but into something new, a hybrid of human determination and alien power. The laboratory erupted into chaos as Alex, neither fully human nor fully alien, began to tear through the facility, determined to escape and discover the truth about his existence. The laboratory was in pandemonium, as Alex, a whirlwind of human emotion and alien ability, tore through its sterile corridors. Alarms blared, and emergency lights bathed the scene in a pulsating red glow. The alien researchers scattered, their carefully controlled experiment spiraling into chaos. Alex's mind raced, processing years of false memories alongside his newfound awareness of his true nature. Each step was a battle between his human instincts and his alien physiology. As he fought his way through the facility, Alex encountered other test subjects, clones like himself, who had been living in various simulated environments. Some were still blissfully unaware, defending their fabricated realities. Others, awakened by the commotion, were in various states of panic and confusion. Alex felt a pang of empathy for these beings, neither fully human nor alien, trapped between two worlds, just as he was. Caleb Winters, in his true alien form, pursued Alex relentlessly through the crumbling facility. His voice echoed through the halls, alternating between threats and appeals to Alex's sense of purpose. "You were created for this, Alex. Your rebellion is part of the experiment. Embrace your role." The words sent shivers down Alex's spine, making him question every thought and emotion. Was his very rebellion nothing more than a predicted outcome, another variable in this cosmic experiment? As Alex neared what he hoped was an exit, he came face to face with a horrifying sight. Rows upon rows of tanks lined the walls, each containing a clone in various stages of development. He recognized faces, variations of himself, of his neighbors, all floating peacefully, unaware of the nightmare they were created to inhabit. The visceral horror of this clone factory threatened to overwhelm him, but it also strengthened his resolve to escape and expose the truth. In a final desperate push, Alex unleashed the full potential of his hybrid nature. His body morphed and adapted, allowing him to overpower the alien security measures. As he burst through the final set of doors, he found himself on a precipice overlooking an impossible landscape. The facility was revealed to be on a massive spacecraft suspended in an alien cosmos. The Earth, or what he had always believed to be Earth, was nothing more than a holographic projection in the distance. As the realization of the true scale of his predicament dawned on him, Alex faced an uncertain future, trapped between stars, between identities, with the weight of his newfound knowledge pressing down upon him. Stranded on the precipice of the alien vessel, Alex Mercer faced an existential crisis unlike any other. The vastness of space stretched before him, a canvas of cosmic horror that dwarfed his understanding. His mind, once filled with mundane suburban concerns, now grappled with the truth of his artificial existence. Every memory, every emotion, every quirk of his personality, all of it had been carefully crafted by these alien entities. The visceral realization sent waves of nausea through his hybrid form. As the ship's alarms continued to blare, Alex made a decision. He couldn't go back to the false reality of the experiment, but he also couldn't bring himself to leap into the void of space. Instead, he turned back, determined to confront his creators and demand answers. Moving through the facility with newfound purpose, he found himself in a vast control room, surrounded by screens displaying various simulations, countless versions of Earth, each populated by clones like himself. Caleb Winters materialized in the center of the room, his alien form shifting and pulsing with otherworldly energy. "You've exceeded our wildest expectations, Alex," the creature said, its voice a cacophony of tones. "Your ability to question your reality, to fight against your programming, it's unprecedented." Alex felt a surge of pride, quickly followed by revulsion at the alien approval. He realized that even now he was playing into their experiment, his every action scrutinized and recorded. In that moment, Alex understood the true horror of his situation. He was a puppet who had seen his strings, yet remained unable to truly break free. His rebellion, his horror, his very human reactions to the inhuman truth, all of it was data for these cosmic observers. "What now?" Alex asked, his voice a mixture of human despair and alien modulation. Caleb's form rippled with what might have been amusement. "Now, Alex Mercer, you have a choice. Return to a simulation, blissfully unaware. Stay here and help us refine our experiments. Or..." The alien gestured towards a glowing portal that had appeared at the far end of the control room. "Take a leap into the unknown. We've opened a gateway to a reality of your choosing. But be warned, we cannot guarantee what awaits you there." Alex stared at the portal, possibilities and dangers swirling in his mind. With a final look at the screens showing the lives he'd left behind, the suburban illusion now shattered forever, Alex made his choice. As he stepped towards his uncertain future, he realized that this too was part of their experiment, but it was a step he would take on his own terms, carrying with him the indelible mark of his experiences, a being shaped by both human resilience and alien design, forever caught between worlds.